What's going on YouTube? It is Tazbot here, back with another Minecraft Monday for you guys. So today we are jumping back into our single player world, and we are going to continue on. I think we were mining. I don't remember where we were really last time. Okay. We were definitely mining, so we left some... Oh, okay. We have all that in the furnace. So... I have full iron though, and I have an iron sword, but I do need to take some iron with me. Probably one or no. I'll bring enough for two more pickaxes and one more sword. Do I have enough? Do I have any other string? No. Just getting rid of some. Just putting some things away that I'm not going to really be using. I'll keep my food on me. We'll get rid of the granite. We'll keep the dirt. We'll get rid of the diorite. We'll put the cobblestone walls away. Put the andesite away. We'll get plenty more cobble where we're going. We need to put the hoe away. Is it nighttime? I guess it was. I thought I'd... So we're going to put our hoe in here. And we'll go back in. And we'll get... 6, 7, 8. And the rest... I think it'll despawn if I leave it there where it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the rest we'll put in a chest. And we're going to go back to mining. So while we're mining, I'm going to kind of talk about some random topics that I guess have come to my mind or something. I don't really know. No, not this hole. We want to go back. Oh, that's right. It was over here. But something that has come up a lot for me in my personal life lately for one random reason or another is worldview. And it's something that I do feel like a lot of younger people my age and even younger than me don't really have. Because it takes, you know, traveling, which a lot of times... Oops. Oh, great. It takes, you know, traveling a lot and money, which a lot of people my age and younger don't have the ability to do. We have work and school and all that good stuff, but... Oh, hold on. Gonna kill these guys. Wow, I can't believe they got me. Now I have to go back and get all my stuff. But we won't die as quickly this time because there won't be a creeper that will blow us up right off the bat. However, if one of those zombies picks up like a sword or something, that would be upsetting. Oop. Oh my god, so many zombies. Holy crap. There are zombies everywhere. Oh my god! It's gonna get really annoying here. I have the supplies to make stuff, right? Well, I have a sword. I put all my wood down there, though. Dang it. It's okay. Actually, desperate times call for desperate measures. But yeah, so back on worldview, um, I feel like a lot of people don't really have a worldview and don't really understand the world outside of their home. And by home, I mean their city, state, whatever, like whatever their box is, if that makes sense. Like wherever they feel comfortable traveling and they go on a regular basis, they don't really feel comfortable outside of that. And that, to me, it's really weird. I'm in school, and so it's really weird going to a school and all these quote unquote educated people have no idea what the life outside of their own is like. Like, if anyone, even outside of their own social group, is talks to them or tries to explain their life to them, they don't get it. So it's particularly odd to me how all of that, kind of goes down. We're gonna kill these guys because I'm over dying to them. How have you not died yet? All the other ones died and he was still just chilling. Where did I run? I didn't run down here. Oh my god. Yep, I knew that skeleton was there, but there was nothing I could do about it. Okay, so we're dying a lot. This is really annoying, but yeah, so you go to college and there's all these quote unquote educated people around you, and they're all telling a bunch of people, not just you, um, but they're telling a lot of people how they should view the world and life. And I'm like, um, I don't understand what really makes them an expert in a lot of cases. Um, because, it'll be like professors that have never traveled or anything like that. And you're like, what makes you an expert in the world? So it's always really fascinating, to me at least. I'm trying to stay like right in his box and I'm still getting murdered. It's really annoying. And like and so to me I see a lot of people on YouTube that are traveling, and to me those people have a better worldview than a lot of these quote unquote educated people that travel or that haven't traveled and they're just professors and experts in their field or whatever. Like, to me, a lot of them don't really know what it's like to visit these places they study and talk about versus these YouTubers who go out and they visit all these places. So, a little bit about my sort of, I guess, background on this is I've traveled, actually traveled a lot when I was young. I got out of high school, didn't know what I wanted to do. College wasn't really on the list of things that I wanted to do, so I traveled. I spent time doing a lot of different things. I traveled and I spent a month in Africa. I spent time in a lot of different places. Um, I so I was in Africa. I worked in an orphanage and uh, down at a camp that they put on for orphans. Um, and I did that for about a month. Um, gosh, dang it. But I did that for about a month, straight out of high school. No, not straight out of high school. I had about a year. What I did straight out of high school was I ended up actually going to the World Cup. Holy crap, I didn't mean to hit that when I did. This is all bad. Gosh, I keep messing up what I'm hitting. But, so I spent about... So right out of high school, like literally, I got out of high school and then there was about 2 weeks, and then I went to the World Cup in Germany, and that was possibly the most eye-opening experience of my life. I met people from all over the United States, first of all, and so that alone was quite life-changing. And then you couple that with the fact that I actually spent time there, and we're just going to get organized here for a second. So I actually spent time there talking to people at the World Cup. That was I was there on a mission trip for like church and stuff like that. Not really for my church, but for a like religious organization. And regardless of beliefs or whatever, it gave me a good worldview. It gave me a sense of getting to know people from around the world, and what that was like, and even around America, which was something I had never experienced before. And it was really enlightening in a lot of cases to be able to do that. Um, in a lot of cases, in all the cases, like it was just great to be able to learn about these different places in America through these people, and then also learn about different cultures around the world through the time that we spent talking to people at the World Cup. Um, so it was pretty crazy. I still, to this day, don't really understand why my parents let me go. Um, it's kind of crazy to think about, like, someone doing that now. Um, you know, freshly 18, freshly graduated from school, and going out and going to the World Cup, which is a kind of crazy event, not going to lie. I was there, so people don't tell me, like, oh, it's not. No, I was there. It's kind of crazy. It's not the safest event. There's a lot of people from all these cultures that you don't know how they're going to interact. You don't know how different people are going to react in that scenario. And to put someone who's barely, graduated from school, has been sheltered to an extent their whole life into that was kind of nuts. And then the fact that we then were told to go out and talk to people and learn about them was another situation that was fairly unique. I don't think that happened a lot, and I don't think it happens a lot today, where we got to just go and talk to people. And so we did that, and I got to talk to people from all over the world, learn about them, and not in like a creepy, like, oh, I'm studying you kind of way, just like talking to them, like finding out how their life is different than mine, and how that shapes their world, and how I could never really, like, I don't know, I would have never gotten that in my own bubble, Like, so to me, it was something that I valued tremendously, was getting to do that. Um, and still to this day, love traveling. Like, to me, there's nothing that beats traveling. I love doing it. Yeah, that was just to kill everything there. But I love traveling. Every part of it is something I enjoy. Getting on a plane, and the fact that we live in this time where we're able to get on a plane, sit there for, 10, 12 hours, and then wake up and you're in a whole different world. Everything is different and everything has changed. It's this crazy scenario that I don't think anyone really thinks about that much, as far as like how insane it truly is. So it's something I don't think people really think about that much, and it's crazy the time that we live in that we can do that. Um, but yeah, so I got to travel and I did that, and then I waited about a year because I still wasn't in school. I chose at that point school wasn't for me, and I wasn't in college. I was working full time. I worked for about a year, saved up money and all that, and then I did the another crazy thing, and I went to Uganda for a month, and I went there in that must have been 2007, yeah, 2007, and I went once again on a mission trip with a church. This time it was actually with the church that I was working at the time. Um, they had talked to me about going and asked if I would be willing to, and I said yes, of course. Um, they kind of knew the answer. They knew I love traveling, but you know, no one wants to just assume that you're okay to do something like that because it is a lot. It's a lot of stuff you have to prepare for. Um, you have to get shots and everything like that. You have to be taking pills like up to I think it's a couple weeks before you leave. You have to take pill. You have to start taking malaria medicine and everything like that. In addition to the standard vaccinations that we have in the United States. So I went, and it was probably one of the most life-changing experiences of my life. It was kind of crazy. It was stuff I had never thought about, um, and had certainly never seen. Um, but it was definitely in a different lifestyle than I ever knew existed in the world. So we went, and I got to spend a month over there working at an orphanage. We went out to, and I went to a place called Kampala, Uganda, and it's the capital of Uganda. So it's a big city. But we were partnered with that orphanage over there, and they actually took us into what's called the bush, which is like literally middle of nowhere, where these orphans come from. Um, no, don't blow up my house. Don't blow up my house. So it's literally the middle of nowhere where these orphans come from, and so we went and saw that, and it was different. It was crazy seeing people that lived without electricity, food, or anything like that. You know, like they didn't have the basic essentials that you would think of for life. And it was just really different seeing that side of life and realizing how blessed we are here in the States, or how great we have it without even knowing it. And, you know, there's no justification or difference between them and you other than just you were born in America. And that's it. So it's kind of crazy when you start really looking at it that way. Um, which you try not to when you're over there for sure, because um, it can get depressing when you're thinking that much about it over there. So you don't. But I came back and I had this new worldview, and that was why I chose to forego the traditional route of college. At that point in time, I was 20, I think, by the time I would have enrolled in college again. Yeah, I would have been 20. And no, I would have been 19 still. But anyways, so I was like, okay, well, I'm 20, 19, 20, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I'm 20, and would there be any good, and so I was convinced at that point that I was going to college. And then I went to orientation, and I was like, what is going on? And that was where I kind of started talking to people who thought they had a worldview, who thought they understood like life outside of the United States. And these are 18-year-old kids. And so, of course, if you're over 18, you understand. You don't know crap when you're 18, but you think you do. And these were a bunch of people who thought they understood. And it drove me insane it drove me insane to where I was like, I can't do this. And it was at that point that I realized this wasn't going to work. Like, because, most 4-year schools, which I had been accepted to a 4-year school and everything. So I started looking into it, and they were going to require me to live on campus. Did he really just blow up there? But they were going to require me to live on campus. And I was like, I started being like, okay, well, what is that going to look like and require and everything? And ultimately, it was going to require me, it was going to require that I share a room, because I tried getting a solo dorm, and that wasn't an option at that point for me, because of the enrollment, just how that university did it. Pretty much like no one really got a solo dorm until they were sophomores or juniors, and so immediately we're hitting like a crossroads of, well, that doesn't work for me. And they're like, well, that's kind of how it works. So, and there was no like real compromise or anything to it. It was just kind of like a take it or leave it type thing. So I had to start thinking about it. And so I went to orientation. Orientation was 2 days long. It was like a weekend in the spring or whatever, because I was enrolling in the fall. So it was a weekend in the spring where you had to go up to the university and stay there for a weekend so you could get a feel for what it was like. I had no problem with going or doing the roommate thing or anything like that. I knew there was approximately like 0% chance I was going to have anything in common with this 18-year-old kid. And I was 100% right. 0 might have been nice. I had literally nothing in common. He was like some star athlete in high school, and he was going to this college because they were the ones that offered him a scholarship. And it was just all totally different than my life and where I was coming from. And trying to talk to him and explain that, he didn't get it. Like, he didn't understand that my life was different, and what I was looking for out of school was more of a like moving forward in life, and he was looking for a shortcut in life. So we were looking for totally different things, and like I said, we discovered that pretty quickly, that we had nothing in common. It wasn't like, oh, shocking, you have nothing in common with this, borderline pro athlete. Like, it wasn't like, oh, no way. Like, everyone knew, but they just kind of sorted us by last name and went with that, last name and major. So I did the orientation. I stayed throughout the whole thing. Finding out that I talked to like this guy who was a business major in college, and he was like the orientation leader or whatever. He had no, like, I don't know, worldview is very important to me, especially after the traveling I had done. He just didn't have a clue about the world, and he was an international studies or international business major. That's what it was, with a minor in marketing. And I was like, oh, cool. Where have you gone? Nowhere. He hadn't been anywhere. I'm like, how are you studying? He's like, well, it's not so much about going places. You don't have to go anywhere to like learn about the culture and stuff. And I was like, at that point, I was kind of, stuck up about it. And I was like, yeah, you do. Which, who's to say that you actually do? Maybe if you're like good enough at visualizing it in your head without that sort of help of going, then you don't. I know I had to go in order to really understand, but maybe he was so good at understanding that he didn't have to. But I don't know, it just really struck me the wrong way at that point in my life, where he was like, you don't have to go somewhere to understand things about that culture and life. And I was like, how are you going to understand a culture and everything if you're not there? Like, you can hear 100 times that there's people living in poverty in Africa, but until you go there, I promise you, it doesn't have the same impact on you. So it just struck me wrong, and him being an international business major and like all this stuff, and it really, I wasn't a fan of it. And then you know, needless to say, things didn't get better, um, because obviously I didn't go to the school right away. um, I thought about it for a while and decided I wanted to do more traveling, and ended up going to a ended up going Oh my god, these skeletons are like dead-eye shots, man. It's really freaking annoying me. But so I ended up spending a lot of time thinking about it and what I was going to do and what my options were, and landed on, I did end up going to school there, but I got a house instead of living on campus, because on campus just didn't feel like an option to me at that point. Um, Maybe I'm wrong, and it would have been. I probably was wrong. They designed things the way they designed them for a reason. I probably would have found someone on campus that would have had some sort of similar experiences to me in life, and gotten through, you know, school a little better. Um, because for those of you that don't know my schooling background, it's not good. I spent a lot of time and effort to get a whole lot of nothing so far. Um, but yeah, I probably should have taken it differently than I did, but I took it the way I did, and it happened the way it happened. So whatever, it's all good. And then I don't know, just the more I talked with people and met people that were there, the more I didn't like how colleges do international studies and everything. Like, they're like, oh, well, you're an international studies student. And you're like, okay, well, what does that mean? And they're like, it means you understand how the world works. And no one understands how the world works. Like, I don't know. It just bothered me, and that's why academia stuff still bothers me that's like that. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I've been ranting for a while this time. So, obviously we're still trying to mine, died a bunch, and now my house has a giant hole in it that I have to repair. I'm going to shut my door like it matters. But that'll do it for it this time, guys. Thank you for watching. Comment below where you visited in the world. I want to hear where everyone's from, or what you've seen in this world. That would be cool to find out. So let me know, and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Click subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this episode of Minecraft Mondays, please click or tap on the left-hand side. It'll bring you up to a playlist of all the episodes I've done so far. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please click or tap on the right-hand side, and you'll get notifications whenever I post a new video.